All right, my check, my check. One, two. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much for the support. So here we go. Back again with the English live stream. And yeah, today we're gonna talk about something like pretty, let's say, sometimes not happen in your house, happens around your family. And these are called the household accidents. So household accidents is some injury or something that happen without your intention for it to happen. And it might cause you some injuries or might damage some parts of your body. So that's what we call the household accident. But for the more academic and more detailed definition, yeah, for sure, I'll give it to you up on the slides. But generally, in the slides, we're going to talk about some common household accident you might see or you might have experienced. And let's say how to avoid it, as well as yeah, what should you prepare or what should you do in case of these accidents happen. So yeah, just a very general ideas of these topic household accident. So let's get into it. So your question is, have you ever hurt yourself at home? Yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure, like at least one. I'm pretty sure that nobody can say no, I haven't, because let's say, yeah, at least once in your life, you have hurt yourself when you are doing some random thing, or let's say when you're just kicking your toes against the wall. So yeah, that is some type of injury, and you feel hurt. So of course, I bet there's nobody who should say no to this question. However, yeah, there are different type of there are different ways of hurting yourself at home. So we're gonna know about we're gonna have a look into it, and yeah, we know the cost so that we'll, let's say, we're gonna have the solutions to it, or we're gonna have the preventions to it. So here are different way you can hurt yourself at home, but I don't recommend you to try. Okay. But yeah, first before coming to those way, don't be too rushy about that. You will know how to hurt yourself at home. But before that, we're gonna learn. Let's say we're gonna have a look into the definitions of the word household accidents. We're gonna break it down into each, let's say, separate words. So we're gonna have household. It's running in a weird order. So household, you can understand that all people living together in a house or flat. So some people might ask, like, why don't we call it a family? Well, family is something different from this one. Household, talking about anything that's surrounding or related to your house. It's just not just people only, but household, including the house, the things, and the people. Yeah, so that's what we call it household, but not family accident. So family accident is something else, but we're not going to talk about today. So yeah, household is different from family in terms of say meanings. In terms of everything else, it's just different. Okay, and then we have accident. Yeah, you. Well, I think I just clicked something. Okay, I think I messed up. All right. Yeah, but this one we call it accident. Accident is, let's say you might have already known this word because yeah, talk about a lot in these contexts nowadays. So accident is an unpleasant event that happens unexpectedly and causes injury or damage. Yeah, and at least once in your life you have got an accident, and that might hurt yourself. So yeah, and yeah, household accident is the accident that happens around the house or around your family. Around the house, yeah, around the house would be better. So, there are different type of um, how to hurt yourself. So here are some accidents you might know or you might experienced, and also there will including the solutions or what you should do when you have these type of accidents. Okay, we have lots of them, so we're going to go through each of them. So first one we have slip, trips, and falls. Yeah, slip, trips, and fall is no joke. Yeah, imagine like slip, trips, and falls is, if you don't know what it is, let's say a very quick illustration is that imagine you stepping on a peel of a banana, and you will know what is slip, trip, and falls. So yeah, slip, trip, and falls seems like not so serious accident, but however, for some certain, let's say, people, especially the old people, slip, trips, and falls can be fatal if there is some, let's say, strong impacts or some collision with other objects, like you hit your head on the ground, and especially when the old people hit their head on the ground, there might be little chance of them surviving. So yeah, slip, trips, and falls. These happen a lot with the rug and, let's say, water. Yeah, especially water, and in the shower. So yeah, soap and water can be slippery, and yeah, so that would be also indicates what you should do in order to avoid this type of accident. Is that hmm, yeah? So try to. I think I put it in another slide. Okay, so we're gonna mention it later. Slip, trip, and falls. Okay, and then we will have the cuts. Cuts are pretty easy to understand if you understand. When you cut something, like you cut a carrot, you cut a paper, and then you accidentally cut yourself. So that's okay, you causing a wound on your body. So yeah, your body will bleed. So that's what we call a cut. So yeah, the cut is, let's say, one of the common accident that you might have in around the house, especially if you are a housewife or if you cook meals for the family. It's easy to get cut. Other from that, we have glasses and other sharp objects can cause some very serious cuts. So yeah, try to remain vigilant at all time is essential. Mhm. Okay, and yeah, if you ever break any items or any products that made of glass, try to clean it up really carefully. And yeah, it is advisable to use a sweeper, a broom, or a vacuum cleaner. So that would be optimal. You don't have to use your hand to pick up the pieces of broken glasses and having high risk of cutting yourself too. So yeah, be careful with the glass pitching. Okay, there's no people watching. Okay, there's no people watching my live stream. Reset. Okay, okay. Next one we have burns. Yeah, burn is common. So especially when you are a housewife also, and there are countless of items in the average home that can cause you a nasty burn. So the obvious hazards, including pans. Pan is the thing that you use to fry the eggs. Kettle is the thing that you use to boil the water. And oven is the thing you use to grill or bake some cake or cookies. Um, yeah, and all things like that. So the thing that emits heat. So those are the things that easy to cause you burn. And if you have children around your home, like small children, you might need to make subtle changes by the way you use these items. So for example, if you're cooking, use the cooking rings furthest away from the edge of the counter. Which with items such as kettles, and make sure the wires are well out of reach of the lamp, of the little hands, which is the hands of the baby. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And yeah, for treatment for burns, I think in the past I got burns quite a few times, and what my mom wants to do is that she tried to put on some toothpaste, but I don't know if it works. So try. If you do the same, please leave it down in the comment section below and let me see if that traditional method really worked. But yeah, it somehow helped me to relieve the heat. But yeah, it is still something I'm still wondering. So if you have the same experience, share it with me. Appreciate that. And when we have choking and suffocation. Choking and suffocation, for those who doesn't know, choking is that okay, imagine you eat something very big and it just stuck around your your throat. Okay, so that's what we call choking. Yeah, the thing that's stuck around your throat or maybe your nose. Hmm. Yeah, sometimes some kids inhale some type of seed, and yeah, it's called the choke on the nose. So yeah, choking it can be either in the throat or the nose. And another one would be suffocation. Suffocation is the state of a human who does not get enough air. So yeah, choking can cause suffocation. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So that's why I put it in the same box. So for choking and suffocation, it is a very serious accident that should be taken care, let's say, taken care of seriously, or mm, let's say you need to have some experience to deal with these situation. So children are often fascinated by objects, and yeah, they try to put them in the mouth of what is going on inside their head. But yeah, when something is new, they just put it in your mouth, and yeah, like an instinct, want to taste it or something. And sometimes, if accidentally ingested, it can cause choking, ingested, which means yeah, they swallow it. And if it's not possible to remove the object quickly at home, what you should do is try to call 911 or the 115 for the ambulance. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Besides that, we have food poisoning. Poisoning it actually is not only food, but yeah, talking about poisoning is talking about general thing, right? Food poisoning and maybe medicines poisoning, and yeah, maybe either one of two of them. So poisoning can be serious and can be fatal to some people, especially for children, because their tolerance is lower than the recommended dosage of the pills or the food. Okay, so poisoning accident involves in medications, cleaning products, this is soap or is that called detergent? Yeah, detergent. And maybe fabric softener. Yeah, I don't know if you know these two words, but I'll try to put it in you. Detergent. Detergent is the thing that you put in the washing machine when you do the laundry. Okay, I'm pretty slow now. Detergent and with a fabric softener. Yeah. Okay, so the detergent is the thing that you put in the wash, yeah, in the washing machine, and yeah, the usage of detergent is to clean the clothes. So that's what we call that in Vietnamese. And a fabric softener is the thing that makes your clothes smell good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it is nước xả. in Vietnamese. It's a detergent and fabric softener. Yeah, so we were talking about the cleaning products. Yeah. So so all the things that I mentioned, and maybe sometimes cosmetic can also cause poisoning, especially for kids. So that's why it's essential to keep any products that could be dangerous to our children reach as a preventive measure. Okay. And then we have drowning. Okay, drowning, yeah, fatal. Sadly, like it is young children who are particularly at risk of drowning in the home. So under the unattended baths, which means they go to bath alone, without any supervising or anybody to take care of. Yeah, so they just go to bath, taking a bath alone. Is a major cause of drowning around children, as well as baby badly designed garden ponds. You know what I'm saying? Garden ponds is like a small lake in the house that used for decoration. And yeah, badly designed garden pond would be maybe right at the stairs or let's say easy to trip into that pond. So that is why we mentioned this one, and also it can be the causes can also be the pool. So if the kid or the children that slip and falls into the pool, and yeah, in case they know how to swim, they will survive. But if they're not, highly chance they got drowned. So yeah, drowning is serious. Yeah, as you can see, like a child can drown at just an inch of water because they don't know how to react. And so standing water should either be supervised at all time and made safe through restricted area, especially the pool and pond or aquariums. Okay, and then we have electricity. Electricity is dangerous, yeah, for the husband, especially the husband, because the husband and the man are the people who taking care of electricity around the house. And yeah, when you do anything related, when you fix or you repair anything related to electricity, mm, try to be super careful because yeah, you cannot mess with electric. And yeah, if you mess with it, yeah, they have a saying, the more you mess around, the more you find out. So you don't want to mess around with electricity. So be careful. Be really careful when you do anything related to electric, especially repairing and cutting and doing anything with the wires. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, we have the one that I mentioned earlier, but we put it in another category, would be the glass-related injuries. Glass-related injuries, like you can understand that broken glass can cause serious cuts. So opting for glass objects and furniture at home, if you have children at home, and that can be dangerous. Make sure glass door, table, and shelves meet proper safety standard, which is the tempered glass. Yeah, it's better be built with tempered glass. And when your kid accidentally run into the door or something, it doesn't break. Okay. So yeah, those are the type of accidents that might happen around the household. Okay, that's cool. For that's 1 minute. And still nobody watching on this. Okay, that's cool. Oh, accidentally. Okay, so yeah, we already talked about the accident. So now we're gonna talk about the solution, how to avoid them. Well, what you need to do when having these, when you want to avoid these accident at home, it's gonna be really easy, and it's just take a little bit of time but you can save a lot of, let's say, effort or save a lot of time if compares to that if you have an injury. Mhm. So yeah, firstly, what you have to do is that try to clean up spills immediately. Uh, Spill is that the unwanted area of water that spilled out accidentally. So clean up the spills immediately so that it won't cause any slip, trips, and falls. Or yeah, also the grease. The grease is maybe the oil when you are cooking and it's flipped out, it's scattered around. So try to clean this the grease also because those things like water and grease and oil and all those things are very slippery. So try to clean up as soon as possible when when you finish your task or when you spill the water, just clean it immediately. Okay, good. And then if your house, in this case, not apply for everybody. So if your house is a Western house, or if your house is, say, an apartment or something, and it has a rug. A rug is a piece of cloth that is spread out on the floor in order to, well, let's say for decoration. I don't think it's any particular the particular usage. Yeah, so the rug is the piece of cloth that are laying on the ground. So secure the rug to prevent rugs from moving around and causing slips. Secure them with non-skid pads or purchase rug with slip-resistant backing. Yes, slip-resistant backing is the okay. So if the rug is this side and slip-resistant backing is this side, so it's avoid slipping during use. Mhm. Okay. So yeah, that is all about rug. So if you use the rug, be careful with it also. And beware of where you put the hot liquids. So if you have young children in the house, be always be wary of where you put that cup of hot coffee. You don't want it to spill like you don't want it to spill on your kids or on any of your family members. Refrain from placing hot liquids on a table that has a runner or a tablecloth hanging over. And the child may pull on this fabric, causing the liquid to spill on them. Yeah, that's going to be dangerous and causing burns. Overall, just do not leave hot liquids in a place where children can reach it. Okay? And install grab bars in the showers. Grab bar is the thing that you can hang on to it. A bar that you install in the place that you can hang on to it. This invention or this method is useful for the household where there are old people. For anyone who is unsteady on their feet, such as the elderly family member, a shower grab bar can be very handful for them. So that can help to prevent disaster because yeah, the old they can sleep in the shower. Mm. And yeah, next one we have, as I said, when you do anything with electricity, be really careful with it. So keep electronics away from water. Mm. It's obvious that water is a good, let's say, catalyst for electrics. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but you know what I'm saying, right? So yeah, try to keep all your electronics away from water. So this seems to go without saying, yet accidents involved in electronics and water still happen every year. So do not keep electronics near water or in a place where they could fall in or children put water in them. Yeah, so if children put water in the electricity socket, it is up a spell. Okay, that's good. And yes, stair safety. Stair can be the cause of accident for many different reasons. So to best avoiding falls, install the handrails, run the full length of the staircase. Carpet and secures are secure and do not put the area of rugs or mats at the base on the top of the stairs. So that would avoid, let's say, the slippery, the slipping uh, chance that you might slip and rolls down the stair. Okay, and lastly would be keep cleaning products out of reach. As I said, poisoning can happen with cleaning products. So all cleaning products should be stored in a place where kids and pets cannot go, cannot get to them. Put in, you can try to put them in a cabinet, proof lock, or better yet, store them in a high cabinet. Okay. So yeah, all the general way that you can use to avoid having accident around your family. But if you know any more way that can be useful upon preventing accident, just show us and we'll really appreciate your comments because we don't have any comments until now. Please, okay, next one. Next one we're gonna talk about the different types of injury. As you already know, like different injuries will cause different type of injury. So firstly, we're gonna look at the first word we have bruise. So bruise is the type, a common type of injury when you slip, trip, and falls, or when somebody hits you, or when you hit something, or okay. So let's say in general, some big impacts has done to your body. So obviously you will have bruise. So a bruise is an area of meat, yeah, an area of lean mass that's turned into blue or brown or even purple, and that's look like in galaxy. Yeah, some you can look for the bruise galaxy meat on the internet, and there are some proofs that look absolutely like the black hole or like the galaxy. But that would be too intense to put here, so I just put in the line on here. But yeah, when your body appears some of the blue or brown or purple mark after somebody has fallen or been hit, that what we call the bruise. And yeah, the sprain. Sprain happens a lot, especially for the boys, the kids, like the kids. Yeah, the kids is very careless and they just want to play. They just want to have fun. They only care about injuries. So it's easy to get a sprained ankle. So sprain is to injure a joint in your body, especially your wrist or your ankle by suddenly twisting it. So as you can see, this is the illustration picture right here. And yeah, I have got the experience with sprained ankle quite a few times. So if you ask me like, what is the sound that go through my head when I got a sprained ankle? I would say like, um, at this moment, you knew it fucked up. So yeah, a sprained ankle is something exactly like that. So you see it coming. It happens really slowly, but like you feel it immediately. So yeah, that's what I call the audio for the sprained ankle. Good. And then we have another type of injury that we call burn. Burn happen a lot, literally a lot. When you fry some fish or when you fry a piece of delicious pork, and yeah, you don't know how on earth that the oil on the pan can explode and spill all over your body or your arms, and that's how you got burns on your hand. So burn is to destroy damage or kill somebody. This is to somebody by fire or to be destroyed by fire. But yeah, the burn here is just a small parts that got burned by the hot thing. So a, burn wound can be later on turned into a blister, and it looked like a balloon on your hand. It looks like a big balloon on your hand. So you have to pop it, and there would be some I don't know what is it called, but there will be some liquid in it, trying to pour it out. So I have witnessed my friend having a really bad burn on his hand, and yeah, it is painful to watch his contact things out. Yeah, so I feel hungry now. Sure. Okay, and the thing we're going to talk about next would be fracture. Fracture, you can understand that is a break in a bone or of a hard material. But talking about injuries, we just talk about bones. So that is the break in the bone. You see, in medical, there are 5 different types of fractures. As you see on the screen, I put in the illustration picture. So yeah, if you are lucky, if you slip through and falls and you try to let's say put your arms down and like trying to get yourself up, and then like you feel not okay. That's why you got a green stick. Green stick is the slightest way of bone fracture. So green stick is the case when the bone is not completely broken, but there are just some mark or some small fracture in it. So the bone is still attached to each other. It's still attached, and it will take shorter time to heal. So in the past, I used to have a green stick fracture on my wrist, and it takes around 1 month or 2 months to heal only. Okay, and next one we have transverse can, I don't know about this one. I never had an experience with it. But transverse can seem pretty pleasant, and it can be pretty mild because yeah, I don't know what is the word, but what is the words that I can use to describe this. But you see the fracture part is pretty smooth, right? Like it's happened inches around. It doesn't like scatter, it doesn't twist or anything like that. It just break. So it's pretty simple for the doctor, as well as for your body to heal. Okay, so that's what we call the transverse bone fracture. And then we got comminuted. Yeah, this type of fracture is nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like comminuted fracture is that the bone is broken, but it's not simply broken. It's just like pieces broken. It broke into pieces and scattered all around. So with this case, we will have some procedure in the hospital that's called the bones arrangement, which is subsumed in Vietnamese. And yeah, when I hear of it, I don't really, I feel it is the worst type of fracture that you can ever have. And sometimes like you have to wear a I don't know what is it, but there is the frame of iron on your body that holds the bones together so that it can start to heal. Okay, and then fibro. Fibro is the type of fracture that happen when you try to twist your bone. And yeah, I think this one you should also have to you need to have a surgery to turn your bones around back into the position. But still, fibro is not as intense or not as nasty as comminuted. And yeah, the last one would be the compound fracture. I don't know why it looked like, okay. Yeah, I think it is the compound of transverse and fibro. Because you see, the cut or the broken part seems pretty smooth and it's pretty clean. There is no small pieces like comminuted. So that's what we call it compound. However, this type of fracture also require you to have some iron or some metal in your body, which means you have to install some of the nails or let's say the frame that hold your bones together. And yeah, that would be the worst thing you can ever imagine. That would be like paying for hell and you cannot walk. All right. So all about those injuries. So in case of accident, what do you look for? Yeah, some of you might look for mom. Okay, yeah, of course, I cannot deny I'm still looking for my mom. And some of you might look for the phone because you can call for help. Some of you might do it yourself, DIY. You doesn't look for anybody, you just say, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself. And sometimes you will need to look not into the people, not look for the people. However, I'm talking about the type of person that's called confidence doing myself. Yeah, they look it for the first aid kit. Okay, so first aid kit is, oh shit, I think I put, this is pretty light. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's check. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so first aid kit is the collections of supplies and equipment used to give immediate and medical treatment, primarily to treat injuries and other moderate medical conditions. Okay, so first aid kit, some of you might have it in your house or around your house. And it is, let's say, the things that you look for when you have an accident. Especially you really need the first aid kit when you live alone or you don't have anybody around you. Okay. So some of you might wonder, what should I put into my first aid kit? Maybe some paracetamol or some Panadol is enough. Some bandage is enough. However, the first aid kit needs a little bit more than that to fill it up. So we're gonna give you some recommendations or some suggestions of the things that you can put in your first aid kit and use it for the emergency situation. So what is inside? We have antiseptic solution. Antiseptic solution, I mean here, is the thing that used to wash the wound. Okay, if I tell you the name, I think you will know. That is the O-oxygen, O-oxygen or OVD. So those are antiseptic solutions. Yeah, the usage of antiseptic solution is to clean the wound and make sure that there is no harm or there is no virus, I don't know what that's called, a mini creature that can affect the wound. Okay, so that's what we call antiseptic. And we have adhesive dressings or bandage. Adhesive dressings or bandage is the thing that you use to cover your wound after you use the antiseptic solution, of course. Okay. Bandage, I think every household should have a bandage because, yeah, accident can happen anytime, and yeah, a bandage can be useful to help you to, let's say, retain the blood or stop the bleeding. So you need the bandage at home. Okay, and then we got gauze. Gauze might seem a bit, let's say, gauze might seem a bit new to you, but let's say, I'm gonna tell you what is the gauze. Gauze is a small piece of cotton that is used to apply on the wound, but it is beneath a type of tape, a layer of tape. So that is Minga. That is really hard to explain in English, so sorry. Yeah, that's what we call Minga in English. Gauze. And we have cotton balls wax. Cotton balls is the white thing that you use to touch the wound or to soak some antiseptic solution and spread it on the wound. So that's what we use cotton ball and swabs for. Okay, and then we have the thermometer. The thermometer is the device, the small device that's used for taking your body's temperature. So thermometer is needed in every household in order to supervise your body temperature in case you're having a cold, so that you will best know what you should do next. And then we have saline. Saline sounds very, very classy, very luxurious. So if you don't know, saline is actually the salt water. But it is saline is a purified salt water. Okay. And the usage of saline is also used to clean the wound, the same as antiseptic solution. Okay. And then we have hand sanitizer, very popular with you guys in the past year because we have the COVID-19 pandemic. So hand sanitizer should be available in every household nowadays. Okay, and then we have painkiller. Painkiller or aspirin are also needed, or maybe Panadol, any type of paracetamol. That are the type of medicine is needed around every household because these type of medicines can solve most of the problems you can have at home. So if you're having a mild cold or if you're having a mild headache, you can take one pill of paracetamol, one pill of aspirin, or Tylenol, in whichever of your preference, and somehow you will feel much better. But one of the advice is that painkiller is made from an addictive root. So don't try to use it too much, don't abuse it, but use it when you need it. Okay. That's what I meant. And lastly, we have the tweezer. I don't know if you need the tweezer, but the tweezer is a small type of tool that you use to pick up small things like your hair, your mustache, like you pick up the hair here. So the tweezer is the guinea. Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched this part, but I'm trying to explain to you. It is the guinea in Vietnamese. It's good. And last one, we have gloves. So when somebody is bleeding, you don't want to touch the wound with your bare hand because it's so dirty. At least try to wear some gloves. Yeah, and it is the best if you wear some medical gloves that is pre-prepared for emergency situation because it's sanitized. And yeah, it will not cause any harm to the wound, to the open wound. Okay, that's it. So when you have the emergency situation, who do you call? You're gonna have these numbers, so we call emergency numbers. Some of you might have already know what they are, from 113 to 115. I think it's pretty easy, all of you know. However, we're gonna have two more numbers, emergency number. That is 111. So 111 is the number of for children. I see. Yeah, so it's a hotline for children protection. That works 24/24, and it's completely free. So when you see any behavior that is not good with the kids or the children, you can call 111 for help. All right, and then next one is 112 is the rescue service, or let's say signal receiving and rescue service all around the world. So if you are lost around in the wood, or if you are having some trouble finding your way out of the mountain or the jungle, you can call 112 for help. Okay, and next one we have 113, easy the police. 114 would be the firefighter number. And lastly, 115, okay, sorry, 115 would be the number of hospital. Okay, so yeah, in case of emergency situation, you can call these numbers for help. I don't think we have this left. Okay. So the question is how to communicate in emergency situation. There are some steps that you can learn that you can use and learn and use when you are communicating in emergency situation. So, firstly, if emergency situation happens, you will try to remain to stay calm and make up your mind about which emergency number you should call. So each of them have a different purpose. So if you call the wrong one, yeah, they will redirect you to another one. So it takes more of your time. Okay, so make up your mind about who you are calling and listen to the message, make a choice. So there are actually when you calling to this emergency number, there is some chance that you are talk to people. There are some chance that you are talk to Kanroban and try to listen to the message and make a choice in order that you will have a good redirection. And yeah, you would need to patiently wait for the patient to not hang up because if you hang up, you will find yourself at the end of the waiting list again. And then, yeah, if you want help or if you need help, you need to provide a correct information, especially correct address to which the emergency service near to go. In, so, yeah, and if it's possible, the easiest way to get there, try to tell them the easiest way to get there. If you don't call them from the place of the incident, tell this to the operator also. All right. And you should, when you call them, you tell about yourself and anything, and then you get back to the main thing. Is that describe what happened so far? So the fire, the accident, the oppression, the burglary, the heart attack, anything like that, and indicate whether people are in danger or wounded and how many people are there. So don't hang up the phone before the operator say you can. Keep the phone time free so that the operator can tell you back if you need more information. And if the situation was to get worse or unimproved, call the emergency call center to report it. Okay, so those are the things that you can do when you're facing an emergency situation. And if you have any more idea, just put it in the comment section below and let me know. We appreciate it. So yeah, I think that should be all we have for the live stream today. So appreciate your time taking turning up in my live stream. But let's probably say goodbye and we'll see you again in the next one on Monday. So stay tuned and peace out. Quay gì? Đó. Muốn nói về cái loại chấn thương hay là cái chiến tích
hai cái đi.
hai cái luôn hả? Cái loại chiến tích này có bốn cái: burn fracture, ờ, thì nói cái gì ở trong cái first aid kit nên có những gì ở trong cái first aid kit, nguồn từ, còn cái accident có 8. Cái này mình cũng ép đi được không? Ép đi được. Cái slip trips and falls á, của bên đó là it takes 7 business days to fall. Nhưng mà cái này nó không giống slip trip đâu. Slip trip là gì? Sân trầu khác. Được thế. Man took 5 to 7 business days to fall. Thế là quên.
Lúc nhau thứ bảy thứ hai luôn.
Dạ, nó nằm như thế này nó lé thôi.
Được, lấy này. Nhưng mà để nó ngắn luôn.
Dạ. Rồi không phải hỏi cái gì cũng được rồi.
Cứ nói. Mà anh cũng đăng cái clip trước rồi.
Yeah. So during your life, in your daily life, you might have hurt yourself at least once, right? So here today we will give you this vocabulary about the household accidents that you might know and you can avoid them. So firstly, we will have slip, trips, and falls. So imagine yourself stepping on a banana peels. That's how you trip. So this is a man tripping for 7 days. And burns. And if you are a housewife or if you cook for your family, you might have experienced the cuts or the burn while you are in the kitchen. For the baby especially, they might suffer from these 3 types of household accident: that would be choking or drowning and suffocation. So if the kid try to put something in their mouth or their nose, try to prevent it from happening so that they won't get stuck in their body and cause suffocation that can be fatal to their life. Let's see.
and
And for the dads or for the husband, maybe the male in the family, if you do some repairing stuff or if you do anything related to electricity, be really careful with it. Don't try to be really careful with it. And if you accidentally break pieces of glass, try to clean up the pieces immediately so that you can avoid stepping on them and cut yourself. If you know any more, okay, how about moving on? So, yeah. So thank you for watching and for. Sleep. So after you hurt yourself, you should immediately look for. When you have a injury or when you have an accident, what is the thing or what is the thing? Okay, what is the thing? Like that's all you have. When you have an injury or when you have an accident, what is the thing that you look for first thing? For me, if it was me, I would look for the first aid kit. So today, English will give you the vocabulary, what you should put in your first aid kit in case of emergency situation. So upon having an injury or an open wound, freshly cut, accident, what you need to do is use the antiseptic solutions. For example, the old oxygen in Vietnamese or the potable. And beside that, you can use the saline, which is the salt water, but it is purified salt water, sanitized. Sanitized. Sleep. Salt water. Saline. It's all right now. Okay. Okay.
all right.
Yeah. So if I got a cut or a open wound, what I do first is that I will look for the saline, which is the salt water, or the antiseptic solution. For example, the old oxygen in the release and the forbidden to clean the wound first. And after that, if I want to secure the wound or I want to prevent bacteria from getting to the wound, I would use the cotton swab, cotton balls or swab. Beside we have gauze, and acid dressing as well as bandages to cover the wound. Some other common things that you might see in what's household first aid kit is that would be the thermometer, is the thing that you use to take your body's temperature, as well as some painkiller or paracetamol or aspirin. That would be needed in every household. And lastly, to keep your hygiene during
during treating your wound, I would suggest you to put in your hand sanitizer in the first aid kit as well as your glove when you are experiencing with the wound. If you have any other ideas that what should we put in these first aid kits, tell me in the comment section below, and thank you for watching. For watching.
Mm-hmm.